Being overprepared is impossible, and other mottos. But please dial 123. Chapter 4. Training Days. The first 2 weeks went well. Kakashi ran his cute little guinea into the ground, either physically or mentally, every day. They spent many a morning and afternoon working tirelessly on taijutsu, a clone giving them each one-on-one time to refine and work on katas. To Sasuke, he gave more of the Uchiha's main form, copied from working with various Uchiha on the battlefield. To Naruto, he showed how to hit harder, how to roll with the punches better, how to shift between stances flawlessly. His brawler style suited him too well to try introducing a formal form. To Sakura, he gave her various stances of the Iron Fist style. Guy would agree with her potential when he saw her use it. Evenings were spent on chakra control, playing tag across the rolling waves or upside down on trees. He taught them to fight and roll across the water and across any surface. They switched back and forth from one surface to another, sticking with their hands or feet as he threw them about in games of keep away. If they were too tired to keep running after their taijutsu in the morning, they did slower exercises, carrying boulders across the water and meditating upside down. He watched Naruto and Sasuke's control grow in leaps and bounds, while Sakura's chakra reserve swelled. On days they were too tired and sore to move, he drew them into what seemed like simple games and questions and conversations. Every single one was a test, a skill to learn. Kakashi had them play question games that could double as interrogation with more dangerous intel. They played keep-away games designed to train them to avoid enemies. They played games that involved innocent play acting that could be disguises and personas for infiltration later. They played word games that worked like code breaking. They played games trying to make Kakashi give them answers that could be used for intel gathering. Sasuke was the most reluctant to play games, of course, but the other two dragged him in, and he had gotten better at listening to commands from Kakashi. Punishment, especially physical activity after an exhausting day, was helping Sasuke get over his attitude. Perhaps also the fact that Kakashi had given what he always wanted. Training. The first 2 weeks were on stamina and taijutsu and chakra control exercises and subtle mind games. The third week, he moved them on to ninjutsu, much to Naruto's glee. Naruto, stop laughing at him! Sakura sighed exasperated, but Naruto was a heap of giggles and laughter as he pointed wordlessly at Sasuke's eyebrows. Or lack of! That is the danger of fire jutsu. Kakashi smiled. They can blow up in your face, if not careful. Sasuke kept his face expressionless, but kept giving these full-body twitches. Oh, your turn, Naruto, Kakashi said, subtly edging Sakura and Sasuke back. And remember, too much chakra and it will get your eyebrows too. Naruto leapt eagerly to his feet and ran through the hand seals without chakra with Kakashi at his side. Kakashi made sure every one of them was right and showed him how to control the fire when it bloomed. Then he made sure to put a good 20 feet between him and the blonde. Sasuke and Sakura, behind his protective form, looked up at him confused as to why they were suddenly giving Naruto space. Kakashi just watched, waiting for the explosion. Naruto, with Agent Chiriki's chakra, and with little control from excitement and a lack of experience trying to use an explosive fire jutsu, did not disappoint. Holy shit! Sakura blurted out, tucked under Kakashi's arm. Sasuke merely stared from under Kakashi's other arm, eyes wide beneath his cinched face. Kakashi raised a brow at Sakura. Oh, sorry for swearing, Sakura squeaked, flushing. I think it's deserved, Kakashi said blandly from where they stood on a tree branch 40 feet away from the blast zone. His clone had already went to put the fire out while another checked on Naruto. Did you see that? Naruto screamed, looking spastically happy. I'm sure the whole country did, Sasuke frowned. Kakashi gently patted Naruto down, trying to wipe ash and soot from where it layered the whole boy. Naruto was missing his eyebrows now, too, and his hair was singed. His jumpsuit would probably be a loss as well. Kakashi said nothing about the burns that healed even as he watched. Naruto was shouting and squirming in his grip, and when he finally let the boy go, he started leaping about, waving his arm excitedly as he took in the damage. Ma, maybe you should celebrate after you actually master it, not fail in it, Kakashi said, much to Sasuke's smugness, and Naruto sulked. He did not test his students for their affinity yet, though he had his suspicions regarding each one. Instead, he gave them a few small-ranked jutsu of every style, refusing to let the knowledge of what they would be best at psychologically hamper them. When they looked frustrated or close to giving up, he gave them an extra moment, gave them extra tips, and pit them against one another, using their competitive streak against them. Sasuke was the best at ninjutsu, unsurprisingly, with his average chakra, his decent control, and his previous training. Naruto had the most powerful ninjutsu, unsurprisingly, but Sakura surprised with how creative she could get in using her jutsus, her control allowing her to twist many of them beyond their basic purpose. She could turn a stream of fire into a lance, or a set of them with careful focus. After their week of ninjutsu, Kakashi started them on Genjutsu. Sasuke had a knack for it, and would be even better when he awoke his Sharingan, and Sakura was quickly picking them up, but Naruto was utterly hopeless at them. Kakashi declared him unteachable by the third day and moved him back to chakra control exercises and practicing his ninjutsu. The other two did well with Genjutsu, and Naruto could use the time to perfect his other work, whereas he would never let his students get away without knowing a few basic ninjutsu. Genjutsu was a different area, and sometimes you just didn't have the talent for it. Naruto accepted it with good grace and went back to blowing himself up with ninjutsu quite happily. He didn't let them get away with no physical activity, of course, and mornings were still dedicated to exercising and sparring. His students seemed to enjoy actual jutsu lessons more, though, as younger ninja usually did. Something about being able to bend elements and making illusions seemingly cooler than just kicking. "How does this look, Kakashi-sensei?" Sakura asked hopefully, holding her paper up to the light of the fire. Kakashi took it and tilted it towards the lantern light near his own pile of papers. He peered at it carefully, giving it due consideration. "Very good, Sakura. Your symbols are very neat and tidy. Work on infusing your chakra a bit more." She beamed at him and set to practicing again. Sasuke held out his without a word. "Good. Your symbols could stand to be a bit wider, especially these ones, so they interact better, but your chakra flow is good." Sasuke shot Naruto a smug look as Naruto held his own work up, beaming. Kakashi said, turning the paper around, not sure which way was up. "I don't know how you did it, but despite the fact I have no idea what I'm looking at, it is clearly ready to function." "Hear that?" Naruto cheered. "I'm better than you at stealing, Sasuke!" "Naruto, bragging is unattractive," Sakura said blandly. "But Sakura!" Naruto whined. "I suppose I should have assumed you'd be good at this," Kakashi hummed. "Huh? What? Why?" Naruto demanded. His eyes had narrowed as he looked at Kakashi almost nervously. Kakashi glanced down to where the boy's hand crept up his stomach. Kakashi wondered how the boy had drew that conclusion. "Because your mother was an expert at sealing," Kakashi said. A harsh silence fell over the camp. Naruto had frozen up, going stiff and still. Sakura and Sasuke turned to Kakashi with surprise, both knowing full well Naruto was an orphan. "My mother?" Naruto stuttered. "Yes, Uzumaki Kushina. Amazing woman." Kakashi nodded, aiming for a light tone. "You know her?" Naruto whispered low and hopeful. "Hey, Sasuke, let's go check the perimeter," Sakura announced, standing up and abandoning her work. Sasuke went with no fight. Kakashi was very proud of them. "Sit down, Naruto," Kakashi said gently. Naruto sat down instantly, still staring at him wide-eyed. "I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner," Kakashi started. "I should have, but I didn't because I didn't know how to tell you. I could use the excuse most other people use about how your mother has enemies who would love to take their revenge out on you, but truth is I just couldn't bring myself to talk about it." You were friends then?" Naruto asked, all trembling hope. "In a way," Kakashi allowed. "Her name was Uzumaki Kushina, and she was from Uzushio before it fell, but grew up in Konoha. She was a fierce and strong woman. Like most from Uzushio, she was a seal master." And so Kakashi told Naruto what he could without giving any real details away. Naruto listened, attentive and desperate, shifting closer and closer until he was curled up against Kakashi's legs. Sasuke and Sakura stayed out of the way, hovering at the edges of camp. And Kakashi told Naruto what he should have told the boy long ago. Naruto couldn't have his father yet, but he could have his mother. It made a world of difference to the small boy. Ah! Fuck you, Sasuke! Sakura screamed, her angered shout echoing across the water. Naruto tripped over his own feet, gaping at her outburst, and even Sasuke let his kunai drop through numb fingers in surprise. You shithead! Sakura howled, slugging him across the face. Sasuke fell back into the waves that lapped at the shore, surprised, making him freeze up. Mama, Sakura! Such cute little Genin shouldn't swear like that! Kakashi said. What came out of Sakura's mouth was far too filthy to repeat, and Kakashi quickly covered Naruto's ears, hoping the water would blank Sasuke's. When Sakura finally cut off panting, she was starting to look less angry and more teary. What has you so upset? Kakashi asked as gently as he could. He? She swung an accusing finger at Sasuke. Keeps pulling my hair! Well, yes, he had seen that happen a few times in spars. The thing about Sasuke that made him unlike his two teammates was he didn't hesitate to fight dirty. While Kakashi knew Sakura and Naruto had it in them, they didn't use any dirty tricks in team spars, despite Kakashi having told them such things were quite helpful. Naruto had this idea of fairness, and Sakura had been raised by civilians who usually tainted shinobi stories with things like honor. Sasuke, though, had been raised a ninja. He had also seen his whole family massacred before him, and things like that could seriously destroy any idea of honor. So Sasuke didn't even seem to consider it fighting dirty, it was just fighting. And Sakura's long hair was such a tempting thing to get a grip on and yank in the middle of a spar. It's an easy tactic, Sasuke said, wiping water and sand from his face as he stood up. It hurts! Sakura shouted back at him, sniffling. Maybe if you weren't such a girl, Sasuke sneered. Naruto, meep, sensing the danger rising at that comment. What's wrong with being a girl? Sakura demanded. Nothing, Sasuke admitted with a growl, except you spent so much time on your stupid hair when you could be learning to fight better. Stupid! Sakura asked, voice shrill. Fuck you, my hair isn't stupid! It's a liability, Sasuke sniffed. A liability? Kakashi was wondering if he was going to have to get between them before Sakura throttled Sasuke. The possibility grew as Sakura whipped the kunai out, and then she grabbed a fist of hair and started hacking. Fuck you, Sasuke! And fuck a liability! She yelled as she slashed at her hair, the boys gaping at her. I am not a liability! Sakura hewed off the last large chunk and threw it on the ground at Sasuke's feet, panting and red-faced. Sasuke gaped at her, full open mouth and wide eyes. Then Sakura burst into tears. Okay, you boys go take a break, Kakashi said, quickly shooing the boys away to do damage control. They left quickly, still unsure of how to treat emotional girls. Kakashi crouched in front of Sakura, tugging her hands away from her face as she sobbed noisily. Ma, that was a bit dramatic, he smiled. I'm stupid, Sakura sobbed, looking at him through teary eyes and a red face and a snotty nose. He sometimes forgot how young these kids were, but looking at her like this, he was reminded they were indeed children. Sasuke was right. I'm a liability. I'm stupid and a crybaby. She choked out, trying to tug away as she looked at her feet and the pink strands littering the ground. Sakura, look at me. Sakura did so slowly. Crying is not a bad thing. You are allowed to cry, he told her softly. Emotions are not a weakness, and you're very far from stupid. In this situation, I would argue that Sasuke is the stupid one for upsetting you so. Boys should know making girls cry is just rude. She gave a half-joke, watery laugh. Now, I feel like this was a while in coming. Why do you feel like a liability? I can't keep up with the boys, she sniffled. I'm trying really hard, and they just do everything so much better. I can't win any spars against them, and I can't do as many ninjutsu, and my taijutsu is sloppy, and Shh, take a deep breath. He soothed, rubbing circles on the top of her hands with his thumbs. Sakura, Sasuke and Naruto are both powerhouses in their own right. Most of the genin would have trouble keeping up with them. There is no shame in not being better than someone. You are doing fantastic. Neither boy has your control with Chakra or your skill with Genjutsu. Even your ceiling is solid, and neither can ever hope to beat you in knowledge. She had stopped crying so hard during his talk and was mostly just sniffling now, looking at him so heartfelt he wanted to give her a hug. Sakura, you are a very good genin, he said honestly, and you shouldn't ever feel as if you are lesser just because someone is better. You are working really hard, and I am very, very proud of you. She surprised him by throwing her arms around his neck, hugging him tightly. Thank you, she whispered in his ear. Ma, you're all my cute little students, and I'm very happy to help. Talk to me if you ever feel this way again, okay? Don't bottle it up. I know what it's like to do that, and it never ends well. She nodded against his neck, and he pat her back at that awkwardly. Now, why did you chop off your hair? Was that just a spur-of-the-moment anger-driven action? I was getting so annoyed, she admitted. He kept pulling at it in spars, and it did hurt. Plus, it kept getting caught in the trees and bushes, and it gets dirty so easy when it's long. I like it long, but it was getting really annoying. That was probably partly his fault. He had admittedly wanted to press on her that looking perfect every day was not reality for a ninja. So he had not allowed her to spend too long on it and make sure to aim her at muddle buttles and Naruto's smoke bombs when they sparred. But he had expected her to put it up, braid it or wrap it, not chop it off. Would you like a hand evening it out? Kakashi asked carefully as he ran a hand through the choppy, uneven length. Please, she said, pulling back from the hug to wipe her nose. And I'm sorry I got snot on you again. No, it won't kill me. He smiled at her embarrassed face. Then he made her turn around as he took out a kunai and tried his best to even out the mess she had made of her hair. In the end, it was very short in the back, only an inch at most. The sides were a tad more salvageable, and he let them taper past her chin. When they wandered back into camp, the boys were trying to look busy. Kakashi knew they had eavesdropped on the whole conversation. Wow! Sakura, your hair looks great! Naruto said immediately and with great enthusiasm. Since it was Naruto, it sounded 100% sincere as well, and Sakura's shoulders relaxed just the slightest as she offered him a small smile. Then Sasuke stepped forwards, and her shoulders hunched up again, defensive. I'm sorry, Sasuke blurted out. I didn't mean to insult you. You are getting very skilled. She stared at him as if trying to divine if this was the truth. And I like your hair like this, he finally said, mumbling. She beamed at him. Thank you, she smiled. Kakashi nodded to himself. All was well.